How's it going? Welcome back to James Chat. So, I've been seeing this My First 7 Jobs hashtag trending all over the place, and I figured I would just make a video out of it, so these are my first 7 jobs. Okay, so right when I turned 15, I was legally allowed to get a job in the state of Oregon, and I did right away. I had a friend who was working at this place, and he hooked me up with a job at the Deschutes County Expo Center. And basically, this place was where things like the fair, or monster truck rallies, or the rodeo, things like that happened at the Expo Center, and I basically worked in concessions. And it was pretty awful. Now, because my schedule there was so weird and I could kind of work when I wanted to, I decided to get another job shortly afterwards, and this is one of my favorite jobs I've ever had. I worked at Blockbuster Video. You remember that place that you used to go to, that used to exist, that doesn't anymore? But you'd go there, you'd rent some movies on DVD or VHS, get some candy, some popcorn, take it home, and have to bring them back in 5 days. I worked at one of those. In fact, I still have my Blockbuster card. This is like a relic. I mean, it's like an antique. And I worked that until I graduated high school. So I was there for 3 years. That's still the longest job I've ever had. Well, I guess except being like a part-time YouTuber. I've been on YouTube for 5 years this month, so I guess that's technically the longest job I've ever had, but it's not really like a job for me. Okay, moving on to my third job and moving on to college. As a freshman in college, I worked at a snack bar in the residence hall. Basically, the snack bar was a small little area in the residence hall that was open from 7 p.m. until midnight, and it was a place for students to come, get some snacks, take a break from studying, and yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it. It was usually pretty slow, so I could use that time to study, which I didn't do. I could have done a lot of studying during my time at that job, but I didn't. So yeah, I did that for the duration of my freshman year of college. Now, between my freshman and sophomore year, I decided to stay on campus, and I got a job as a janitor, which was as bad as it sounds. For that job, I was a part of a crew of people who went through every dorm at the end of the school year, after everyone's moved out, and deep cleaned. People are gross, by the way. Just in general, they're gross. Then for my sophomore and junior year of college, I was a resident advisor, AKA an RA. And my job as RA was essentially to just watch over a wing of students. I was a resource to them. If they ever had questions, they could ask me like, hey, where do I find this? I'd be like, you find it over there. And that was a solid impression of me as a resident advisor over there. Since most of our residents had a roommate, we would be sort of a mediator for conflict resolution, and we would host events, which was easily my favorite part of the job. That might be my favorite job from this list. Then after my junior year, I transferred schools and immediately afterwards dropped out of college. So that changed things a bit. I'm such a good role model. Stay in school. After I transferred, I got a job at a frozen yogurt place called Yogurt Extreme, where my title was Swirl Master. That was my title. That's not a joke. Until I became a shift lead, at which point I took on like more responsibilities, like counting money and locking up at the end of the day. And that takes us to my 7th job on this list, which is when I moved to Los Angeles and became a background actor, which, okay, forget being an RA, that is my favorite job from the list, hands down. It is the easiest job you could ever do. I mean, you go to this place, you mostly just sit there and hang out with other people, play card games, play games on your phone, read a book, and occasionally they bring you onto set where you get to be a part of a show or movie being made. I mean, you're a moving prop, so you're not tremendously important, but you're there, and it's exciting, and it was just a lot of fun, and they give you food. I mean, how does it get it? I miss that job so much. I want to do it again. So there you have it. Those are my first 7 jobs. All right, I'm gonna go. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. You can watch some of my other stuff right over there. You can hit me up on social medias here, and if you enjoyed the video, you can give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, because we just broke 20,000. And shortly after, 21,000. So, high five me. That's amazing. Thank you all so much for joining, and I will see you next time.